So essentially in this video, I kind of want to touch on, for one, the current state of gaming and kind of like my thoughts on it, how I'm connected to gaming itself and what gaming means to me, a project that I'm working on based on a problem that I saw within gaming and game development, and kind of like my vision for the future and my plans on actually helping game developers and gaming creators support and build together and make something meaningful for the community of gaming. Kind of an unscripted video. It is what it is. I'm just gonna kind of talk and explain again some of my thoughts and maybe frustrations or nostalgia or whatever with like what I see currently in the industry. So here it is. So like when I was growing up, man, like I was in a more, I guess, fortunate situation to where like I had a loving mother who often allowed me to get the latest system. So I played Game Boy Color. That was my first one. I had the yellow one with Pokemon Yellow version, so it must have been a bundle. I even had like the little squiggly light attachment for it that let me see the game or the screen in the dark, which is probably why my vision's bad right now. But I think that's kind of like where my journey of gaming started. And it's so nostalgic. Nintendo, for one, it plays a huge part just because most people's first system or console or whatever was likely some type of Nintendo, whether it was the Game Boy Color, the Super Nintendo, or anything beforehand. But being so young, gaming has played a huge role in my life from 4 or 5 years old, probably like five or so, starting off with Pokemon, growing to Legend of Zelda once I got a little bit smarter and could handle the puzzles. And then, moving forward to the PlayStation 1, the Super Nintendo 64, the Game Boy Advances, PlayStation 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, so on and so on. But gaming has also, in a way, allowed me to stay connected with a bunch of people. And so it's allowed me to kind of branch off and become friends essentially with a group of people that I may not have normally ever talked to in my life. It's allowed me to stay close with family because we connected through games growing up. Most of my family inspired me to play new games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Beyblade, like whatever it was. And we would all get together and, make these memories essentially together, playing together all day, all weekend and whatnot. And so now, we're all older now and we've gone our separate ways. But whenever we reconnect, we're able to laugh and talk and share like we've never been apart because we all connected on a more intimate level. And I want to give a lot of credit to gaming for making that connection happen. So now that I'm older, I still play games whenever I have the time. Games are a great way for me to de-stress. They're a great way for me to relax. They're a great way for me to take a load off. And, again, I have friends on the game. And so I'm able to socialize and communicate with them, whether it be on Xbox, on PlayStation, or on PC. I think I even have a Nintendo Switch. So I should say Nintendo Switch. But now that I'm older, since I really can't talk to my friends as much because we all have our adult lives, I get a lot of my gaming updates, news, and gameplay from watching these creators online making content about video games, essentially, whether it's entertainment or whether it's news or developer updates or devlogs or whatever. Like, I'm getting it online from these content creators. And that got me thinking, like, I think a lot of game devs don't take advantage of the creators that are out there that are willing to make content about your games, which will, amplify your discoverability. So there are many game devs out there that are making these amazing games, but they're struggling with visibility, they're struggling with support, they're struggling with connection. And it's not because they don't care about it, but it's more so, from what I see, because they don't really put in that effort to get their game discovered. Or if they do put in the effort, they don't know how to do it, or they don't have those connections that can put them on to another connection that'll lead to another connection and so forth. So I saw like a massive gap in that area, and it kind of got me thinking back to like 2020 during COVID. Everybody was in lockdown. Among Us was a game that kind of blew up essentially, which, if you don't know, Among Us is the imposter game where you start off as either a crewmate or an imposter. If you're an imposter, your job is to sabotage a ship, So the crewmates can't win. And if you're a crewmate, your job is to, for one, survive. And if you don't survive, then you better try to figure out who the killer is and let somebody know before they kill you. But that game blew up in 2020, and a lot of it was due to COVID, yes. But where did it come from? Like, why did people figure out about it? And it's because these creators were playing the game and advertising the game, which led to an exponential outcome, I guess I should say, in terms of discovery and awareness of that game. And it's led to more success among, for one, the developer, but as well as success amongst games that are similar to Among Us. And so just like thinking about that and the connections and the growth that you can get from getting your game in the hands of a creator who wants to make content about your game, it goes a long way. And I really think people take that for granted. Imagine this. Imagine you want to win a raffle, right? And you can either buy one raffle ticket or you can buy 10 raffle tickets. What's going to better your odds to win the raffle? Having more tickets is going to better your odds to win the raffle. So you should put more tickets into the bucket so that way your name could potentially get drawn. And that's what discovery essentially is. What I'm trying to say is, like, sometimes discovery isn't luck, sometimes it's strategy. It's how many times can I put my name in this bucket before it gets drawn? It's patterns basically that have been proven to be repeatable amongst several creators, amongst several industries. Sometimes discovery is a strategy. Sometimes it's a connection, right? And so as a strategy, the more times that I put my name into this bucket, the more times I am likely to get discovered. And I really think that developers take that for granted or don't put as much effort, in a sense, into getting their name drawn, essentially. I think that a lot of developers think that a couple of tweets on Twitter will get by, or Blue Sky or whatever, but it's more than that. It's a repeated process every day on as many channels as possible. And even though they tell you to focus on one so that way you maximize your potential for growth, it's like, I get it, focus on that one, but you better not be tweeting one time a day or posting one time a day. You better be posting multiple times a day in order to maximize your potential for growth or getting your name drawn and essentially getting discovered. Around 2023, I tried to pivot my career from construction into gaming, and it was the worst possible timing imaginable. The tech market was down, and I didn't realize that it was essentially also affecting the gaming market. And there were layoffs happening every day, every single day. And in fact, there still are, right? But essentially, you had all of these talented people and new grads that were losing their jobs or losing positions at these large companies. And rightfully so, they deserve those positions before me. And I realized that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a different route. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to basically figure it out, because these people deserve these jobs more than I do. And I'm fortunate enough to still have my job to where I am still making money, whereas they don't. They need it. But looking at that from a top down view, I was like, man, for one, the companies are effed up treating these people that are making these great games without the respect that they deserve. But the opportunity that I saw was like, well, these creators that are essentially building these great games should go and start their own studio. They have a team, a bunch of people, a massive amount of people were laid off at once. And I get it, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, but a massive amount of people were laid off and essentially needing work. And so in the meantime, while you were looking for a job, it's like, why not just start working on a side project? Why not start just building your own studio or your own game or whatever, and forming your own team and hoping something good can come out of it, while, you know, maybe you were just searching for a job on the side, which, you know, to be fair, searching for a job is almost a full-time job in itself. It just got me thinking, like, I think that we are about to see a massive shift in the gaming market, meaning that we're going to see more independent developers from these layoffs start their own studios, start their own gaming companies, or whatever. And we as gamers need to be the people to support them, because these large corporations, these large publishers aren't. And they've proven that. They're continuously proving that they're not going to support these people that are making the great games that, they're making multitudes of money off of. They've proven that they will not support them. So us as gamers, if we love the games that they are making, if we love that team that made that game, it is our job as gamers to support them. It's our job as gamers to lift them up and say like, hey, you do matter, and give them that place where they can continue doing what they're doing if the people that we originally depended on aren't going to do that anymore. And so essentially I started looking into platforms that could help with this, right? And so you have Patreon, which is cool, right? Game devs are on there, but Patreon's not really for game devs. It's a generalist platform for creators that have communities. Great. Then you have platforms like Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a monetization tool. It helps you earn from your following, just like Patreon, but a little bit less feature based. You have companies like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, which are all or nothing campaigns. And you think about that, and it's like, why do you think an all or nothing campaign would benefit someone if they didn't reach their goal? And so it's like, you mean to tell me as a game developer, if I make 95% of my goal, let's say I raised $45,000 out of the $50,000, I didn't make that goal 100%. So you mean to tell me I'm not going to get the 45,000 because it's an all or nothing campaign? And correct me if I'm wrong, but from everything that I've seen about Kickstarter, that is exactly how it works. I could be wrong. Please say in the comments if I'm wrong. But for a game developer, that just didn't seem fair, especially when you are advertising your game on side of multiple other games, multiple other projects, multiple other whatever, because the site's not built for gaming. And so when it came down to all of these platforms, what I really saw was that like the tools just weren't built to support gaming creators, and the tools weren't built to support gaming in general. And I thought that was a serious problem, because you try to look for these platforms that support game. There are none. There are no platforms that are dedicated to supporting gaming. And it's like, why is that? Why do we not have a platform that supports gaming? And so I started to think about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can build a platform that supports gaming. And so I started to think about that more. And I was like, man, you know what? Like, I kind of started having these ideas in my head. I'm like, okay, well, why don't I try to build a platform that's dedicated to supporting gaming and gaming creators and gaming news and gamers in general, and to get them all in one place in a community. That way they can, support, connect, and share with each other on a platform that's dedicated for them. And boom, that's when you get Player 3. So Player 3 was basically built to fill that gap, that void that I felt that game developers and gamers didn't have. It's a platform built by someone that loves gaming for the gaming community. And I thought that even though I didn't have a ton of experience as a game developer per se, I still had a lot of knowledge about gaming. And me kind of being, I shouldn't say ignorant, but I think that's the closest word that I can find, right? Like, imagine me being like a blank canvas about what game devs need. And so that led me to going out and being this blank white canvas and saying, hey, I'm going to talk to many, many, many game developers and ask them, like, what tools do you need to best feel supported? And that's what I did. So like, I went out on Reddit, I went out on, platforms like Blue Sky and Twitter, and I just started blasting, gaming creators, game developers, whoever I can, whoever would basically talk back to me and get their opinions about like, okay, like, hey, what are some of the issues that you're having with these specific platforms, right? With Kickstarter, with Patreon, with all these different platforms. And I started getting all of this feedback back, basically saying, hey, we have issues with burnout. We're tired of posting on so many platforms. We're tired of doing this. We're tired of doing that. This doesn't quite meet this. But I got a bunch of positive feedback saying like, hey, we really need a platform like this. Like, this is what we need. I'm like, okay. And that's when I started building Player 3. So what Player 3 does is it essentially lets you create your own profile. You can share content, you can share updates, you can share devlogs, you can share whatever, but instead of it being kind of like private, like Patreon or Ko-fi, you can share it publicly, just like it's a post on Reddit, or let's just say for our instance, like an IGN style post on IGN without the ads. So it's a user generated IGN basically. Player 3 also lets its gaming creators offer memberships and receive donations. So again, similar to Ko-fi and Patreon, except for it's gaming only, right? And so you essentially have this community of gamers that are going to find information about games in general, seeing your content and saying, okay, well, hey, like this dude is making content about the game that I want, or this dude is building the game that I want, or in the future, I want to support this guy long term. And then you could potentially find somebody outside of your normal community that wants to support you, which is something that I really thought was missing within the gaming community. And again, when you talk about like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, all or nothing campaigns are ridiculous, right? And so with Player 3, you basically keep everything that you earn. There are no all or nothing campaigns. If you earn $50,000, then guess what? That's what you're going to get. So Player 3 essentially is like a headquarters for gaming. You can earn, you can share, you can create, you can connect, you can do basically everything, but it's all dedicated to gaming on one platform. So it centralizes things, it helps you streamline things, and it helps you earn support. So it's still fairly new. We're working on things like improving the speed, improving some of the UI and some of the features. I've got a ton of feedback from gaming creators and game devs from YouTube and Blue Sky and all of these other platforms that, you know, all essentially love what I'm doing, and they're offering the feedback or improvements on, you know, features that they want to see next, small improvements that'll, you know, make them fully commit to the platform, so forth and so forth. And I plan on implementing as many as I can, because I truly want to build this specifically to support the gaming creators that have spent so much time creating the games that we've loved and we've grown up with, and, you know, we've shared with our friends and have connected on so many more, right? Like so many memories have been created for these game creators. Why don't we help them keep creating the memories for us, right? So one of the features that I have coming up next will make it extremely easy for you to share to multiple platforms, which again, I know a lot of game developers deal with burnout and posting on multiple platforms. So again, we hope to alleviate that pain just a little bit and make it fun. Make it fun for you to share this information. Make it fun for you to share a devlog. Make it fun for you to share a post or share content with your fans or with publicly with the world. You know, my goal is to make it fun and make it easy and make it accessible and help you earn support. So my long-term goal for Player 3 is to literally make it like a hub for gaming, make it a hub for support, make it a hub for connection. Like I really want to help you grow as an individual, as a gaming creator. I want to help you gain knowledge as a gamer and give you a place to go if you want to find content or whatever, all about gaming. So it's not just a tool, it's a movement. I think the gaming community has been missing something like this for a long time. And if it's something that interests you, then please consider joining. I want devs and creators to have a sustainable future long term and not have to depend on these large corporations or publishers for funds, essentially. I think that in a world where gamers can empower gaming, we can go a lot further, faster together. If Player 3 is something that interests you, it's out now. You can check it out at player3.io. I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, I mean, so a little background on me, you know, I'm just starting this YouTube channel and I am doing it to help, you know, get the word out about Player 3. So I really do hope that you can share this with a gaming creator that you may know, or another gamer that you know, or anybody that you know within the gaming that may need support, that may want to raise funds for their game, that may just want long-term support from their existing community, that just wants to share content with the world, whatever. And it would mean a lot for me if you would hit the like button and subscribe. Like I said, since I'm new on YouTube, I have limited features. And so honestly, the subscriptions would go a long way to unlock those features. And that way I can help make these links and things a lot more accessible for you guys. By the way, I did start a partnership program with Player 3 that allows creators that meet certain criteria to essentially earn a portion of the platform fees that we gain. If that's something that you're interested in, please fill out the partner form, which is on Player 3's homepage. If you go down to the footer, you can check it out there, see if you meet the requirements and apply. Thank you.